Hello, this is Matthew Horning from USD 457, and I want to take this opportunity to welcome back teachers from last year and to welcome new teachers joining our district for the first time. Here at USD 457, we believe all can succeed. We hold ourselves to high expectations and expect to see results from students and staff. We are very proud to have our high school be recognized by the U.S. Department of Education as a 2012 National Blue Ribbon School. In this presentation, I am going to discuss about a law that was passed in 1974 that is called Ferpa. Ferpa stands for Family Educational Rights Privacy Act and is something that all of us need to be aware of and follow. It deals with the privacy of our students. When Ferpa is being violated, it is putting at risk not only the student and parents, but as well as teachers, our schools, and our districts. Violations are not only dealt with at the school level, but also at the district, and legal consequences may follow. Why do we have Ferpa? Well, we have Ferpa to protect the privacy of students' educational records, to establish the rights of students to inspect and review their education records, and to provide guidelines for correction of inaccurate and misleading data through informal and formal hearings. The rights belong to parents until the student reaches the age of 18. At 18, the rights are transferred to the student. Student records information. Personally identifiable student records may be shared only with the following people or agencies without signed consent from the parents. If a student is 18 years old, written permission must be received from the students. Some of the examples could be courts with proper court orders, educational agencies in which a student has enrolled or intends to enroll, employees in this system who have legitimate educational interest. When in doubt, do not share. All categories need written consent before they can be released. We have three different types of categories: educational record information, directory information, and strictly confidential information. Some examples of educational records are date and place of birth, parent and guardian address, emergency contact numbers, grades, test scores, courses taken, academic specialization and activities, official letters regarding a student's status in school, special education records, disciplinary records, medical and health records created, collected, and maintained by the school, attendance, student's ID number, social security number, picture, or other identifying information. Some examples of directory information includes name, address and telephone number, yearbooks, athletic programs, and extracurricular activities. School officials are obligated to give parents public notice of the type of information designated as directory information. Parents have the right to have their information or their child's information removed. And then some examples of strictly confidential information could be personal notes made by the teacher and school personnel, law enforcement records created and maintained by a school or district's law enforcement unit. School officials may have access to information if they have legitimate educational interest and need to review educational records to fulfill their professional responsibilities. Schools may disclose information for audits, court orders, or subpoenas as well. If schools wants to release information for studies, policy evaluation, research, they must have written permission prior, signed and dated, state what information will be released, state reason, and identify who will get the information. Outside agencies also need to receive a written explanation of restrictions at the time of their release of information to other parties. Consent is needed also when the release of information is needed when diagnosing a learning disability, previous status as a special education student, diagnosed with physical or mental disability, medical condition, prescription drugs, history of drug or alcohol abuse, and for transcripts. Common places where Ferpa is violated is at the lounge, at home, and in public. In the lounge, faculty take breaks and discuss problems with students in their class dealing with academics or behaviors. Even if the student's name is not mentioned, it becomes a violation of Ferpa. People in the break room know who they're talking about from the references, and a student is identified. When at home, you need to be careful of the things that you talk about with your friends and families, and make sure you do not share confidential information. It finds its way back to school and also to the student's family. And in public, other people can overhear your conversations, which happened to one teacher at a restaurant that was overheard by grandparents of a student in their class. When you're in doubt, do not share. I hope this presentation was insightful for you and helped you to understand the district's expectations for FERPA. For more information, you can log on to the district's intranet, click on District Documents, go to Administrator Handbook, go to 07 Student Records Information, and download. And it talks about confidential files and how the school is supposed to handle confidential information. Thank you for your time.